Welcome to another Young Guns podcast. Today, Luke and I, what do? We do personal finance, right?
I don't even know what we do. What do we do?
We do personal finance,
We
right?
do a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's.
But what is that word, right? Personal. So that's kind of where we want to go today. There's a lot of things that, especially people in our generation, that they're going through, that they're having to make these big decisions, and kind of want to walk through some of the personal experiences we're having, as well as some advice for, the best practices to go about those big decisions.
I think it's really important to make sure that it is personal because, it reflects accurately on our age group, right? So anyone in the 20s or early 30s, even mid 30s, it kind of all applies. And that's why using personal experiences kind of gets the best information across to the people watching this.
Right. So one of the big decisions that a lot of people around me are making right now are the decision to buy a home, right?
Which you just did.
I did. So some of you may know out there, thank you for all those people that helped me move in. And it was been stressful, to say the least. So
that's a lot of work. Moving into any house or transitioning from any place is very stressful.
Oh yeah, it's things you don't think about, right? So I cut my lawn for the first time on Sunday. I go to start it up, and there's no gas in it. So not only do I not have gas, but I don't have a gas can, right? So it's all these little things that you don't think about that you run into the store over and over again. Like I bought the wrong watt light bulbs, just little things. So, if you get into those situations, my girlfriend and I, who she moved in with me, we kind of just laughed at one point. We hit 3 strikes and we're like, that's it, we're done.
3 strikes, you're out.
We're going to go, we're going to do something, we're going to have fun, we'll come back, we'll give it another try. So, that's kind of that mindset.
Well, that's sometimes what you have to do. You have to take a step back and say, hey, let's go do something else and clear my mind real quick, because doing anything for a long period of time can get stressful and really annoying.
Yeah, if you don't make it comical, if you don't just realize hey,
well, that's one thing they're good at doing is him and Katie both know how to make things fun and interesting all the time.
Because if you let it get to you, we would have just been sitting there angry with each other, right? Yeah. So, it's an experience. There's going to be ups and downs, and you just got to go with the flow sometimes, right?
That's right.
So
go with the flow. That's all.
Bringing up that huge decision, right? Going with the flow. The big thing you have to figure out first is your mortgage.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of ways to look at your mortgage. There's your 30-year mortgage. There's your 15-year mortgage. What type of interest rate? What does your credit look like? All these different things you need to realize. So first of all, right now, lending is hard. Mm-hmm. With the whole coronavirus, a lot of the banks are being a little more stringent on who they're going to lend to. So first thing I would say is you got to check that credit score, right? And if you have problem with your credit, again, I'll reflect to, we did make a video on ways that you can improve your credit score. Yeah. So if you want that, we'd be happy to send it to you. But that's the first decision you need to make, right?
Right, absolutely. When it comes down to your credit score, it reflects what interest rate you're going to get, like you said. So if you have bad credit, you might be getting a 5% interest rate compared to maybe a 3% interest rate if you have good credit. So right then in itself, if you take a long mortgage, like a 30-year mortgage, that difference of 2% could mean hundreds of thousands of dollars over that 30 years. So that is step number one. I think that's probably the most important.
So now you figure out, okay, my credit score is all right. I'm ready to go. I got a 15-year, I got a 30-year. So what do I go with? And a lot of it depends on, one, your cash flow, right? Yep. A big thing for me is I never wanted to be house poor. It's great to have that house. You can do a lot more. You can stay in. You can save money that way. But to be house poor just didn't seem fun to me. It just I didn't want to be strapped to just being there. So in my case, I did go with the 30-year mortgage.
Right. Because you don't want to, like you said, being house poor, what he's referring to is all of his cash flow basically is going into the mortgage. So he doesn't have, money maybe set aside or coming in to do maybe fun things that he wants to do or other things like travel or, we're still young, so we want to be able to do things. So if you're strapped and you have, all of your money going into that mortgage, then you can't really do much. Yeah. You're going to be sitting in your house all alone. You can't really get out of the house.
Right, just staring at each other like, what are we doing now? So I never wanted to be house poor. I'm a huge proponent on saving. I obviously, with what I do for work, I aggressively save quite a bit, but I always keep that balance of being able to go out, being able to travel, being able to do the things I love, because who knows? I could get in a car accident tomorrow and be done, right? So all that money I saved is for nothing. So you have to find that balance.
Somebody will use it.
Right. My mom's my beneficiary still, so she'll be living good. But So you have to figure out how much you want to put towards your mortgage. And a great thing right now, our interest rates are super low, right? Super, super low. You can find those, low 3%. You could get under 3% if you're looking at a 15-year in some cases. But the thing I'm looking at is I have all this time, right? I have this 30 years, and if I can get a low 3% interest rate, in my opinion, I believe that I can make way more than 3% in the market.
Right.
So if I keep my cash on hand, if I keep my cash flow, I can put that to work, especially if we have another sell-off in the market. I'm making more than I'm paying in my percentage for my mortgage, so keep my cash. That's why I went 30 years.
And that's why we have a lot of clients come in and say, hey, should I buy this second home maybe down in Florida, whatever they want to do, that's for $300,000 and pay cash for it, or should they mortgage it and have a cash flow coming out every single month? And when it comes down to it, let's say they have $1 million portfolio and they're buying this $400,000 house somewhere. Well, if they pay for it in cash, that takes their $1 million down to $600,000, and that $600,000 can't grow as fast as that $1 million. So should they have financed it? Probably. At today's interest rates, if you're getting that 3%, or let's say they take a 15-year mortgage and get 2.5%, 2.8%, whatever it is that they're getting to mortgage that, if they're returning 6% in the market, they're basically funding that whole mortgage through their retirement savings.
Right, plus making more on top of that.
Plus making more on top, and they're able to use that for retirement.
Yep, the fancy word there we use is arbitrage.
Yep.
So if you're paying a lower interest rate and you're making a higher interest rate on this side, you're winning. That's the easiest way to think about it.
You know what, Joe? I like to win.
Yep.
I really like to win.
No, not you. Yeah, I mean, I've seen him lose a couple times, and it definitely the demeanor and the whole vibe in the office can be a little different. So we definitely got to make sure that Luke's winning.
Got to win.
But another issue that we're having right now is a lot of people are losing their jobs, right? So where is this money coming from? And there may be some circumstances where people are forced to use a credit card in circumstances where they didn't want to.
Right.
So there's a lot of trouble that you can get in when it comes to credit cards because there's good debt and there's bad debt, right?
Oh, I mean, there's a big difference between the two, and it's really important to differentiate early on what is good debt, what's bad debt. We see a ton of people our age in the 30s buying brand new cars. They're buying brand new cars when they don't have anything in their savings.
My buddy just bought a boat.
Yeah, they're buying boats. They're buying brand new cars. They have $400 in their savings account. That's it. And they're buying these $30,000 brand new cars.
Diminishing assets.
That $30,000 car you buy is going to be $24,000 right when you drive that off the lot. You just lost $6,000.
Right.
Then, as time goes on, it's depreciating, let's say, negative 15% every single year, minus 15% every single year. So not only are you financing that brand new car, and that's coming out of your cash flow because you don't have savings to buy that brand new car, but it's also depreciating, and you're going to sell it at half the price, a fourth of the price of what you bought it for. So that's an example of bad debt.
Yeah, on top of that bad debt, you have the credit cards, obvious. Those are obvious, and we'll get to that. There is forced bad debt, right? And I hate to call it bad debt, but forced debt is like student loans, right? Yeah. There's really no way around it. If you want that higher education, if you want to take that next step in your life, you're going to have to take out a student loan. But then we have good debt, right? We have, your home is a good debt. It may appreciate over time.
Yeah.
Having to, take out a loan on your car isn't always bad, but again, maybe look for that used car solution.
Yeah.
It's
not going to depreciate as fast.
Yeah, I'm driving a Honda Civic right now. It's got great gas mileage. It's going to last a long time for me, but I'm saving a lot on my car payment and overall in the loan in itself. So just trying to sacrifice those things and maybe not having that glitz and that glamour and that look so that you can do the things that you enjoy and go on those glamorous vacations. And who cares what your Instagram post looks like, right?
Well, it's fine to buy the glamorous cars and things like that if you're able to afford it. But most people who are doing this, especially at a young age, can't afford to do it because they should be using that money elsewhere so that 10, 15 years down the road, they'll be in a better spot to actually be able to afford that car and it won't put a dent in their pocket at all. Right. They'll be saving the money currently, invest that money over time, let it grow, and then that way they can afford it, and it won't matter if it comes out of cash flow or not.
Right. So let's say we fall into some bad circumstances. We may have lost our job. Maybe we just were forced. We just didn't have the assets we needed to do something, and we were forced to use those credit cards. And we have different sources of debt now. Maybe we have a mortgage. Maybe we have our credit card loans. We have our student loans. We have maybe our car loan. Yeah. What is the best way of going about paying that off?
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of kind of philosophies out there. There's all kinds of kind of processes, but the main one is it comes down to interest rate.
Yep.
The higher your interest rate, you should pay that off the quickest.
Yep.
Because if you pay off the highest interest rate payments first, it's basically getting a free rate of return. Now, it's going the other way. It's not like if you have a 7%, 4%, and 3% credit card, you want to pay off the 7% first.
Yep.
Because, I mean, that's free 7% that you're gaining. Like I said, I know it's not coming into you, but you're not going to get a 7% rate of return risk-free basically anywhere else. So you want to pay off the high interest first, work your way down, and by doing that, you're going to save thousands and thousands of dollars over time.
Yeah, if you have credit card debt and you don't have an emergency fund, you absolutely should not be investing.
Yeah.
You know, that is the first thing you need to do is you need to attack that situation. And there's a lot of good books out there that you can read. I think, what is it, Ramsey?
Rich Dad Poor Dad? Or?
No, I'm thinking Ramsey, but reach out to us. I'll send you some good books. Because
Ramsey's got a lot of different things.
Yeah, if
Dave
you
Ramsey.
don't have a strategy, you know, if you're just paying off this, paying off that, it's going to be bad. You may have heard of the snowball, where you pay off the lowest amount of debt you have. Like, let's say you have 500 of debt here, you got 1,000 here, and you have like 25,000 here.
You go the smallest or you go largest. There's all kinds of philosophies, but when it comes down to it mathematically, you should always pay off the high interest first.
Yep.
It's proven mathematically. Yeah. That's why I don't get some people who are saying they have different philosophies, because it really doesn't make sense. You hear all kinds of different things, especially, you know, textbook, you know, solutions that you hear from college and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, mathematically, you will always pay off the high interest first.
I mean, those credit cards, you could be paying 22%. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. So if you have 22%, let's say you have maybe $5,000 on there, okay, you should be aggressively paying that off, because you are not going to make 22% in the market unless you take on extreme risks and have a chance of striking out.
Yeah.
So that is a huge, huge thing that you need to be looking out for. And you got to be doing these things and setting yourself up in the right places. And then once you get that under control, now you open up that Roth IRA. Now you start investing for the future, so that down the road, you know, a lot of people want to retire early. You need to realize how expensive life is, how the interest rates or inflation are going to go up, how much money it would truly be for you to retire early. Healthcare costs.
Well, look at what's happening now. I mean, we're just printing more and more money. I mean, the thing is, like, there's going to be repercussions down the road. Higher taxes. Interest rates will go up eventually, causing inflation to increase. This huge amount of supply in the system of money could cause inflation over time. So there's all kinds of issues right now that's going to affect your situation, our situation, when we're ready to retire, because there's so much happening and there's going to be repercussions from it.
Yep.
So you have to plan for it, and the only way for you to plan for it is to kind of be financially educated, and you are by watching these videos. And that's one step that you're taking.
Yeah, it's all about you. You know, no one else is going to do it for you. We're not going to have pensions.
Well, we can do it for you.
Right, right. But you're not going to have those pensions. So you're not going to have that guaranteed income. Social Security is really not in good shape. So, you know, 30, 40 years down the road, something's going to have to give, and that's a whole nother topic, right? Yeah. But you have to do it for you. You have to build this nest egg from you to pull from, or you will never, ever be able to retire.
Well, right, because back in the day, back in the 70s, 80s, before then, there were defined benefit plans that employers had, right? So they actually took care of it from their side. You never had to really worry about anything, because
they took all the risk.
The money, they were depositing it into a pension fund, having the manager, having all the fees covered. And they would allow you to retire, and then you would take distributions on that, and you would receive a monthly income.
Yep.
It's not like that anymore. It's very rare that you see any defined benefit plans. You see defined contribution plans. That's your 401ks, your 403bs, all those different retirement savings plans that you have to pick the investments and you're in charge of. That's what you see nowadays.
Yeah, the company wants the risk to be on you.
Yeah. I mean, they don't want to take on more risk.
Yeah.
They're going to give you all the risk, and then if you fail, then it's on you. You messed up. You can't go back and change that. You only get one chance of that.
Yep.
And let me ask you, Joe, when you do something for the first time, is it your best try?
No, absolutely not.
So if you're not, you know, if you didn't study finance, if you didn't study all this, and you aren't in, you know, this kind of world, then it gets confusing. If you make one mistake, one irreversible financial mistake, you can't go back and change that. That's why having somebody that is going to be there to guide you in the right direction is so important. And I think a lot of people don't realize that until they get to retirement.
Yep.
And then it's not necessarily too late, but they missed out on 30 or 40 years of being guided the right direction that could have netted them hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars.
Right. I mean, let's take, I just bought a home. I know that my lights are not up to code. Am I going to go in and try to fix that?
No.
Hell no, because I'm going to go in there and I'm going to shock myself and it's going to be awful.
Yeah.
I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the experience to try to go and do things like that.
Yeah.
So it's okay to outsource certain things in your life. And I think a lot of people are hesitant, especially when it comes to investments, especially when it comes to finance, because there's a lot of hype.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these traders that are living on the beach and they're making all this money.
Yeah. Well, what they're doing is they're making money off of you by charging you a subscription fee that you're trying to pay for them to give you stock picks.
Right.
They're not making money in the market. They're living on the beach because people are paying them $10 a month, and they have thousands of people doing that, and that provides them living on the beach.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of big decisions going on. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. So, if you guys have questions, if you're looking to maybe buy that first home, if you just want 2 cents of our knowledge and what we can bring to the table, reach out to us. We'd be happy to jump on the phone with you for 15, 20 minutes, discuss your personal situation. And
everything is confidential here, right? So, like, if you would call us and, give us the information, whatever it is that we need to talk about, we can't go and talk to anybody else about that. Nobody's going to know. So, that's something that a lot of people, especially younger, kind of worry about is that, their situation, they think that, somebody's going to go tell their friends about, they had $50,000, $100,000 saved.
Yeah.
That's we can't legally do that.
Yeah.
So if you give us a call, then we're here to give you that advice, to give you that guidance of where you want to go. And, like Joe said, just give us a call at 216-800-9000, or, all the links and all the different emails that we have are underneath this video on YouTube. So just go ahead and click on one of those, email us. And like you said, if you want to be a guest on the show, we really enjoy having people on here. Like I said, a couple weeks ago,
makes it a lot more interesting.
It does. I mean, it provides different perspectives, different viewpoints. A couple weeks ago, we had Aaron Blasinski on here from Fairport Wealth. So we really appreciated him coming in, and we do want more guests coming in, and we do plan on having more guests coming in. It's just been hectic these past couple weeks, so it's been hard to kind of reach out and talk to some people. So.
Yeah, and we do appreciate everybody who's tuned in, who's watched this. I mean, the support really, really means a lot to us. If there's any advice or any topics you'd like us to talk about, just reach out to us, let us know. But on that note, you guys go out there and make those big boy decisions, those big girl decisions, and just enjoy life. There's a lot of craziness. Enjoy your life right now.
It's summer. It's nice out. Go enjoy the weather.
Yep. You guys have a great day.